Today's episode covers touchscreen first cabin design, a Toyota chairman's vision for hot hatches, Mercedes' 2026-2027 model plans, Rivian's view that a non-autonomous car is unlikely by 2030, and Project Aero's Borealis concept leading Canadian EV innovation. Welcome back to Autonews Daily. I'm Leah Morgan. Let's dive into today's headlines. First up, Mazda's move away from a control knob toward a large touchscreen and what that change says about interior design trends. Mazda's designers have clearly made a deliberate choice to prioritize a larger, more central touchscreen experience over the traditional rotary controller that many drivers use to consider indispensable. That decision reflects not only aesthetic shifts, but a broader recalibration of how drivers and passengers interact with vehicle systems, from infotainment and navigation to connectivity and vehicle settings. This isn't just about swapping hardware, it's a user experience bet. Replacing tactile physical controls with touch surfaces can streamline cockpit layouts and minimize clutter, but it also raises questions about distraction and ergonomics. Automakers and suppliers will need to balance cleaner interfaces with interface logic, haptic feedback alternatives, voice control, and accessibility, especially for drivers who prefer hands-on controls. For dealers and service networks, there are implications too. Update cycles for software, training for technicians, and the aftermarket ecosystem will all adapt if touch first becomes the dominant approach across more mainstream brands. Moving from interiors to performance DNA, Toyota's chairman has been talking about a dream lineup that includes hot hatches, a reminder that even as electrification reshapes powertrains, enthusiast-focused cars remain part of OEM roadmaps. The chairman's comments underscore that mainstream brands are still thinking about corner-of-the-market products that excite buyers and sharpen brand identity. Hot hatches have historically served as halo models, compact, engaging, and affordable ways to bring excitement back into showrooms. For Toyota, reaffirming interest in that segment signals several industry dynamics at once. It suggests a willingness to preserve driving engagement even as regulatory and electrification pressures push many firms toward heavier, quieter vehicles. It also hints at the kinds of engineering trade-offs manufacturers will face. How to preserve lightweight, responsive handling and immediate throttle feel while integrating hybrid or electric systems. And from a market perspective, a renewed focus on hot hatches could influence competitors and suppliers who provide performance brakes, chassis components, and transmission systems, creating ripple effects through the supply chain. Next, let's look at Mercedes and its slate of new models slated for 2026 and 2027. The announcement of an array of upcoming vehicles from one of the industry's leading premium manufacturers offers a window into how luxury brands plan to evolve in the years ahead. Mercedes' roadmap points to continued investment in both product breadth and technological depth, balancing electrification, design language evolution, and refreshed architecture choices. For consumers, new models in that time frame will likely translate into more choices across segments and body styles, possibly blending electric propulsion with the high-end comfort and feature sets Mercedes buyers expect. For suppliers and technology partners, the timelines matter. They shape procurement cycles, capacity planning, and R&D priorities. And for competitors, Mercedes' moves will be watched closely. Product launches from a major premium player can shift benchmark expectations on range, interior tech, and driver assistance capabilities, prompting parallel upgrades across the market. Shifting focus to autonomy and the future of vehicle operation, Rivian's CEO recently described a future where selling cars without self-driving capabilities feels hard to imagine by 2030. That's a bold framing from an EV-focused OEM that has been vocal about software, ADAS, and long-term autonomy goals. The comment captures a growing sentiment among some industry leaders. Autonomy isn't simply an optional feature set, it's becoming a core part of what a modern vehicle is expected to deliver. If that prediction holds weight, it has far-reaching implications. Investment patterns in sensor technology, compute platforms, and data infrastructure would continue to accelerate, and regulatory frameworks will need to catch up to the pace of industry ambition. There are also business model questions. How will companies package autonomy? As a subscription, one-time purchase, or tiered service? And what will be the role of fleet operators versus private owners in early deployments? Even if timelines shift, the strategic signal is clear. Autonomy is moving from research labs into product roadmaps and investor conversations, and that will influence partnerships and capital allocation across the ecosystem. Before we get to our final, most talked about story, a quick note. If you enjoy the show, please like and subscribe. That helps us keep bringing the news to you every weekday. Now, returning to a story with a distinctly North American flavor, Project Aero's Borealis concept in Canada. This initiative represents a high-profile example of collaboration across industry, government, and educational partners to reimagine what an electric vehicle can be for the region. Project Aero has positioned the Borealis as both a technical demonstrator and a statement of industrial intent, a chance to showcase homegrown design, manufacturing know-how, and the potential for a coordinated approach to electrification. The significance goes beyond a single concept car. Projects like Borealis help build local capability in EV architecture, software integration, and supply chain coordination, and they serve as a platform for students and companies to gain practical experience. In markets that have been historically dominated by global OEMs, a concentrated initiative can spark local supplier development, talent retention, and policy attention, all of which are necessary ingredients for a sustainable domestic EV industry. As the Borealis moves from concept to public view, its real test will be whether the momentum it generates can translate into scalable manufacturing plans or partnerships that persist beyond the showcase phase. Bringing these threads together, today's headlines illustrate the multiple vectors reshaping the auto industry. Interface design and human-machine interaction, niche performance products coexisting with electrification, premium product roadmaps setting competitive bars, and autonomy's growing centrality to vehicle roadmaps. Layer on national initiatives aimed at building domestic EV competence, and you get a picture of an industry in simultaneous transition and consolidation. Those shifts raise practical questions for listeners who care about buying, servicing, or investing in cars. How will a touchscreen-first interior affect your day-to-day driving comfort? Will a revived hot hatch from a mainstream brand alter resale dynamics? How will Mercedes's new models redefine expectations for 2026 buyers? What does a future where autonomy is commonplace mean for liability, insurance, and personal mobility choices? And can collaborative projects like Borealis move the needle on regional EV competitiveness? Thanks for spending time with Autonews Daily. If you found this episode useful, remember to like and subscribe. It helps us keep bringing the news to you every weekday. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.